Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Imran Web Squadron. We are now live. It's Wednesday and today is a very special live chat. It's totally unscripted. This is not pre-planned. I do not know what is going down, but this is a no hold barred Q&A live chat with Code Snippets Cloud, and we've got a very special guest today. You may know him. I kind of know him. It's Verdi from Code Snippets and obviously Elementor as well. He doesn't actually own any other clothes. That's the only t-shirt he actually owns. I've never seen him wear anything else, and that's not probably a bad thing. But Verdi, how
It's
you
true.
doing, mate?
Good. I'm good, and it's true. The only thing I wear is elevator t-shirts. Um, I must say, I get this question a lot. Code Snippets really does support all builders, but I am, a little bit biased when it comes to elevator. This is true.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know. But let's be honest though, even though Verdi is biased, he is still very accommodating with other builders as well, and he joins other groups as well. So that's one thing I do want to make clear, all right? Verdi isn't just Elemental. If there's anything good to say, or if he's going to network with other people, he does do so. He's very much in tune with the kind of community spirit we love to spread in Web Squadron. But that's kind of where I kind of inherited a lot of the spirit from the Elemental team. So big thanks to that. And anyone here from Elemental, I saw Nick was here. Hey to all of you, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy today's chat. So today is all about code snippets. Now, I just want to say from the get go that I've been using code snippets for as long as I can remember. I've tried out other solutions. I know Verdi won't like to hear that, but I have tried them out. But why have
You
you
should.
not seen me do videos for my YouTube channel on other solutions? Plain and simple, I keep going back to code snippets. It's free. It was great to use. I could add in my snippets, my page speed optimization. It was brilliant. And when you found snippets online or from working with other people, it was great. Now, last year, Snippet, was it last year? I think it was last year. Code Snippets went pro. There was a premium version and
July last year, yes.
July last year. And I was a little bit surprised it hadn't happened sooner, to be honest. I thought it was going to happen earlier. And then when it
Took
did
us a
come,
while.
I know. I mean, I don't mind paying, but I but when I then found out about the extra stuff we're going to get on it, I started to get more and more excited. I mean, do you want to tell us more about like your role with Code Snippets? Um co-owner, what you do, how you actually got involved, and what was the journey towards eventually getting pro out in July last year?
Those are some big questions, and please stop me if I start monologuing again. I do have that tendency.
Time's run out,
Um,
Verdi. Time's run out.
So in 2012, my partner and co-founder Shay Bunch actually created Code Snippets. I had nothing to do with that. It was only a few years later that I asked him, "Hey, could you instead of just doing PHP snippets, maybe add other types like CSS snippets and JavaScript?" And um, uh, got no response. And finally, I decided on a sunny day in sitting in the garden, just writing a business plan. I sent that to him, just for the fun of it. I didn't actually expect an answer, and so I didn't get one. But then 6 months later, he reached out and said, "You know what? I thought about it," and I'm like, "No kidding. Let's do it, but let's do it together." So basically, that's how it started. That's already, I think, 6 years ago, just about. The plugin was still under 100,000 active installs.
Yeah.
And then once I came in, we started planning not just these extra features, but first actually building the user base before we even get to the features, we even get to the pro version. That's one of the reasons why it took longer. Another is, of course, resources. It's always difficult when you're starting out, so every start is slow. Um, and filled with a long list of painful but very good lessons.
So I'm gonna
So,
so I'm gonna quickly jump in before you carry
sure.
on. I started getting interested and started doing videos, and I must say, even though Paul from WP Tuts and other people have done odd videos as well, Code Snippets never really did my major promos. did they? They didn't really go out and go, hey, look, come and use it. So to get to 100,000, even at that point in time, without, just with what you had, that was really impressive. Do you know how it worked? Was it just word got out, word of mouth? How did it even get there?
That is 100% Shea Bunch making an excellent product completely for free and still supporting it.
Yes,
That's
he
how
does.
things started. Um, when I came in, I was lucky to have a good network and to meet people like you who are willing to talk about this and get the word out in all kinds of different ways, up to the point that we've now just passed 800,000 active installs, which is insane. We might actually make hit the big 1M
Wow. I
in
mean,
next year if this keeps going. Yeah, it's hard to fathom even such numbers,
wow.
but it's amazing. So long story, slightly shorter. We finally got the pro version out. It was still an MVP, as in a minimum viable product, just to get it in people's hands, start using it. And then we did what we always do, where I come from, and that is listen to the community. Really, really listen. We did so many calls with people, just taking them taking us through how they're using it, which is an incredible experience to see how people are using your product and explaining to you how best you can use it. Um, and what they wish and how can we improve it. So that's when we started adding a few different content types. Like CSS has been wildly popular because it's such a
Yeah.
time saver to have it all in one place and not to have to go back and forth when you have a mistake in your website. You just know it's there. You can easily toggle functions on and off, that kind of thing. Anyway, I digress. Um, I think today is one of the most interesting moments, because what we release today comes really close to one of our main missions. Actually, I should say the main mission. That is for you to have as few plugins in your WordPress installation as possible. We
Yeah.
all know the biggest problem in WordPress, besides optimization and security and things, they need attention. But one of the biggest problem is compatibility. It is often something that you, as a user or agency owner, web creator, have little influence over. Sure, you can reach out to them, but you're still going to have to deal with that stuff
Yeah.
while you're building projects for your customers, which is a pain. I think a lot of people here probably recognize that pain. So if you don't have to have all these black boxes in your website, all these plugins that have so many other features, so many bloat you don't need, but just invite the actual feature. Now that's what we're after. Code snippets is not even about the code snippets. In fact, it's about the features you install on your website, very transparently, very very open. And I think the way we're doing it now with this big new release um, changes everything. I honestly believe we can
Oh, it
replace
does.
most single feature plugins in the WordPress repository. Single feature plugins. If you're a plugin owner, don't get angry now,
No,
because
I obviously heard about some of the features coming out when Pro first came out, and obviously I've been linking in with the team members, and I can tell you now, they are an amazing team. Okay, you got Verdi there, you got Shay there, you got Nathan there, you got Imance there, you got Artif, who most of you know from the Web Squadron live chats as well. They have got a great team. I am just a small little cog. I'm just in there. Yeah, hey, I'll help you out with videos, but I can tell you now
well,
the amount the amount of plugins that I have saved by just using snippets is unbelievable. And if you caught the video I did a couple of weeks ago about if you're using ACF and you've got or ACF Pro and you've got a repeater field, to get that repeater field to show an elemental, some of you are using the dynamic.oo plugin. With a code snippet, you don't now no longer need that premium plugin. You can now get it into Elementor, and that is a huge game changer, I know, for a lot of people. And if it wasn't for code snippets, I wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, it's I love to experiment and find a new way of doing something, like showing training videos inside WordPress or removing something. And it's you, you got to experiment a little bit. You will have, you get things wrong and then you got to redo it again. But when it works, oh man, it's it's amazing. It's wonderful, and because snippets is so simple. I mean, I'm just going to quickly share my screen over here with, or if I can share my screen.
And
Let's
while you
go.
do that, by the way, thank you for doing the shout out for Atif and Imans and Nate. You actually beat me to it. These are people who literally came from our community, reached out and said, "Hey, what if we do this? What if we do that?" Basically, how I reached out to Shay originally, and they joined the team and started adding their ideas. So it that goes way beyond the feature requests. You
No,
become
absolutely.
embedded in the team. And just to finish this shout out, Atif has been incredible when it comes to the whole team, of course, but we all have our own area of ownership. He really took cloud to the next level, which we'll be
Did.
talking about mostly today. Um, Imans is going to work on something we'll talk about later. And of course, it has got something to do with AI. I don't think that's any surprise anymore. Um, we're working on conditionals and some other cool stuff we can talk about later. But just to finish, Nate does basically anything communication related. If you want to become an affiliate or do co-marketing or do any kinds of stuff like that, then reach out to Nate. He's your guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. So, look, there are other solutions out there, everyone, okay? And I am a little bit biased as well because I'm an investor in Code Snippets as well now. But prior to that, because that's only recently, prior to that, the reason I liked Code Snippets was, and I'm not going to mention other solutions, by the way, out of respect, but you will know that there are some of them where you just have tons and tons of code, right? And sometimes when you're trying to find, well, where was that bit of code? You're almost going through what reminds me of Windows File Explorer, like File Manager. You're almost going in and out of folders. This is beautiful to look at. Here's all the snippets on this test website. I activate and deactivate what I want, when I want, how I want. It's just so simple and easy. And even if you had a website with 20 snippets, at any point when you know there's a problem, not with the snippet, but maybe with how you're operating, or your client no longer wants you to do some sort of cart abandonment with WooCommerce, you just deactivate. And it's I can't get over. People will know I get super excited over simple stuff, right? And so anything like this just works. Now we have had a gate crasher, everyone, and I'm now going to add him to the scene. Okay, he looks like he's just woken up, but I am now going to add him into the scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Atif.
hey guys.
Hey,
Hi, how
welcome,
you guys?
Artie. Welcome. How are you doing? I
Sorry,
heard you're not feeling too good.
I've had a very mad day. I had a bit of an accident. I was cycling. I fell off my bike, so that's
Oh
kind of why I'm a
dear.
bit late. Yeah,
Oh dear. Well,
yeah.
I
I'm
hope.
okay.
Is that the hand you type with? Is that your mouse hand?
It is my typing hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Verdi.
It
Verdi.
was
Code
someone
Snippets
that
is
looked
gone.
suspiciously like Imran driving the car. You look very similar. If we wouldn't live
Oh,
so
come on,
far
Artie.
apart.
If it was me, right, you would have been hitting Uranus, planet Uranus.
Nice. Yeah.
No, but
Anyway, if anyone's wondering why the next release is taking so much extra time,
now
you,
you
you
know.
just saw the
Now you know.
bandage.
I'm typing it one one at a time.
So I mean, Atif, Verdi mentioned like how like you're. I mean, I remember as well like when you first got involved, and a lot of it was like redesigning the website. But then you brought in ideas because you'd already had
Yeah.
some ideas and stuff, and you brought in
It's more than
almost like a
that.
new interface, almost, or the way the back end worked in a way.
Hmm. I mean, maybe Verdi can explain a bit
I'll be
more.
happy to answer this because I'm not sure if you heard the beginning, Atif, but we were going through what everybody does and how you got into the team and explained how people literally came from the community, like you.
Mm.
One day, you were a community member. telling me, "Hey, I'm starting to build this thing, and I heard you kind of wanted to do the same thing, and want to see what I got." And then he actually had something already amazing, just brimming with potential, and it was immediately clear to me that yeah, we want this.
What was it?
And
Bike cycling?
you should join us and come build it. What did you say, Emmanuel?
I said, was it cycling a bike? Is that what was interesting?
So yeah, that's how you came to us. I think Atif, that's the short version. Did I
That
leave
is a short
anything out?
version.
Can I ask
No.
two questions? I'm going to ask two questions here, and they're not related at all. And I'm just going to throw them out here. The first question is, when did you first realize you were losing your hair, Verdi? And second question, okay, is Artie, did you just got to turn my phone up. Did you realize that you were going to be in this for the longer haul? Did you think this was just going to be a short-term thing? I mean, you're now part of the Code Snippets team.
Which one to tackle first? That's the
Go for the
question.
hair. Let's
Okay.
go for the hair, Verdi. Let's get that one out. Come on, Verdi. Was how long?
Oh boy,
Is
okay.
this
I can't
recent? Is
believe
this
I'm gonna.
intentional? What's going
I
on
can't
here?
believe I'm gonna tell this story on camera. But basically, in the Netherlands, students often live together in one house to save cost, and students may or may not have a tendency to, have a party and have a blast. Besides, of course, the studying, which is most important.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and to save on cost for having more beers and parties, and mind you, this is 400 years ago. We tried to figure out anything and everything we could do to cut down on cost. And one of the things was, one of the other students in the same house said, "My mom's got a razor. We can just razor each other. It'll save on hairdresser cost, and we can convert that to beer as well." And we were like, "Yes, that's brilliant." So that's actually what happened. But then I liked it so much, I kept it for years. Then one day, a girlfriend asked me, "Hey, you have these photos of big black curls. Please let it grow again." So I wanted to let it grow again, but halfway I realized, wait a minute, not everything's coming back.
Oh
But
man.
by then, everybody was already so used to me being
Yeah.
bald. I just kept shaving, like nothing
Well, it
happened.
suits you, Verdi. I can't imagine you with hair.
Yeah,
This is exactly why I joined. These stories, like these golden stories of Verdi.
I
This is
know.
every week. This is what we
Now
do. This is
everyone
why
knows
features don't
Verdi.
come out.
Party animal. Party animal. So Artie, with you
Every
obviously
week
came in.
Yeah.
Did you realize you were going to get so involved into Code Snippet? Did you realize that you were going to become
No, honestly,
really a key part of the team?
Well, I don't know, yeah. I mean, to be honest, like the brief version that Verdi gave, just to expand a little bit more, I was honestly a user before anything else. I was a Code Snippet user. I loved the plugin. It was on nearly every site that I had because it's just so handy. And I'm someone who's always kind of thinking of new ideas, things to do. I like to expand my knowledge by actually doing. So there's always things that I'm like side projects to work on, and the idea of like a cloud to hold snippets or things was something in my mind. And then I was like, oh yeah, I think that's quite a cool idea, nice idea, make it a bit fun. So I started working on it, and then I've heard that these guys are, doing it. So I was like, okay, they're obviously much more experienced, bigger, better than me. I'll just leave it. But I had some connection with Verdi, so I just messaged to reach out to him and said, okay, hey Verdi, I heard you guys are doing this. I already started doing it. I'd be cool to see what you guys are doing. Can I get involved just to give some input and feedback? And then it just started from there. We showed him, he loved it. Then I didn't have that vision. I thought, yeah, I'd just be a part of it to help the cloud aspect. And then it just became more and more like, yeah, really vibed with the team. It's a nice set of people. And, we're all on the same kind of goal that it's not about having Ferraris, although those would be nice to have. It is
exactly.
it is about doing something, giving back to the community, and making.
So you've had the Ferrari chat with Verdi as well. Then he always throws that in. It's either a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. He always throws that in. Always.
I mentioned the Lambo.
The Lambo that always comes in somewhere.
It's not about the Lambo. No, for sure. But no. Keep going, Atif.
It's definitely not. That's why I'm on a bike.
Yeah. No, what I
Actually,
wanted
maybe
to
we
do
should
was
get you a Lambo.
is just very quickly show off, um, like the whole point of the cloud, like in terms of what do you get with the pro version? Because some people I think are still a little bit confused about it. Like, what is the point in me going for it? I can honestly tell you now, if you want to get if all you're ever going to do is just go and get snippets that you're going to find online or from videos or whatever, and you're going to put them in the website, using the free version is absolutely fine. But if you want to get a bit more that brings loads more into your WordPress website, the Pro wins hands down. And there are three big major improvements. The first one is that you can now access your code vault. So on my
If I may,
yeah,
Imran,
go on, Verdi.
just a quick high level, looping back to our main goal. We want for you to have fewer plugins and a better
Yeah,
overview of the customizations you make on your website and the functionalities you add. So with cloud, we make it possible for you to easily back up your functions or code snippets, to very easily distribute them over 1,000 websites if that's what you want. And I think one of the most uh, cool things are these bundles you can create. These internally we call
Bundles
them
of
these
joy.
bundles of joy,
yes,
um, because it allows you to, and we'll get into the nitty gritty and details, but it allows you to have these different snippet types into one bundle, easily deployed, but also easily considered that if you have a combination of CSS and PHP, JavaScript, whatever you need, that can really actually replace a lot of these single feature plugins. Um,
absolutely.
anyway, let's get into it.
Yeah. So the first thing is the fact that if you're if you're logged in to using
Mm.
Code Snippets Pro, you will have access to basically upload your own snippets. And I've uploaded quite a lot. I've got about 31 and I've got a couple of private ones as well. When you've got Code Snippets Pro, you will now have access to the code vault. And here are all my snippets. And I can very easily just hit download on any one of them, and they will now appear in my snippets over here, down here. The other thing you have is the cloud search as well. And this one is one of my favorites. If you're trying to find like a particular snippet for WooCommerce or, I don't know, JavaScript or something like that, or performance, you might have gone to the Code Snippet Cloud, but then you're kind of going through and trying to find the one you want. You can very easily now just go and type in a keyword here or a range of words, and it will pull it back, and you go and pick the one you want, and you basically hit download, and again it will add it to your snippets repository. But
And
the
the cool
big
thing
yeah,
about the
sorry, go on.
snippets here, by the way, is these are all contributed by other users. You can upload your own snippet and say, you know what, I'm going to keep this private as a backup, or I'm going to make this public so anyone can enjoy this. And when you do that, you can even get some social proof, so people can give it a thumbs up, can give you a thanks, leave a comment. We even have a separate AI which checks your code snippets if it's okay or not, and it'll mention that. So now you get access to a whole repository of already verified, mostly verified snippets. So you don't have to go searching all over the place and think, is this gonna work? Then you gotta test it, and it breaks your website, and so no more of all that hassle.
Exactly. And the final thing, which Verdi mentioned, is the bundles of joy. Now,
Mhm.
if I go over to my Code Snippets Cloud, you'll notice over here I've got bundles. And if I click that, you'll see that I've already created a bundle called WordPress Page Speed Elemental Optimization. I know, it's the worst title ever, but WordPress Page Speed Elemental. This is like 7 snippets that I always use. You know, when I do my page speed videos and I go, yep, download that, use that, use that. If you have to have Code Snippets Pro, you were to enter in that code, and I could share this in my website or wherever, you would just go over to snippets, go to bundles, and then you would type in that code. Now, I don't have to type in the code because it's connected to my account, but you could type that code in here, hit show or get snippets, and it's going to bring all of those 7 over to your website. So a lot of us tend to talk about, like things like Insta WP or Manage WP, where you can build like a blueprint. So every time you now start a brand new website, if you have like your 7, 8 favorite snippets, and they won't be activated, by the way, you can add them all in one go. And then you can just go back over to snippets and decide which ones you want to activate. So if you feel like, well, I don't want all of them active, you still have control over that. Anything you want to add to that, Artif?
No, I think you've given a very nice kind
I
of
know I
summary.
have.
Definitely, yeah. I'm trying to
So
think of what
modest.
can I add to this. Definitely, the bundles I think is a really nice feature, nice thing that we added on, just because of not only for yourself but also just to be able, if you're someone who's like yourself, a content creator, or you have an agency and you're making tutorials, you can have a bunch of snippets and just easily share them out. But also, we really do much rely on the community. It's the cloud will only ever be as good as people contributing and
Yeah.
getting involved and making snippets. And we wouldn't be here without the community. And I think the cloud will also just
Literally.
rely on that. So a big thank you to everybody that's put snippets on there. And for sure, we can't wait to see what more. And we're always open to feedback and requests, things that make your life easier, things that will make it better. We're not a team. That's one thing I really liked about the team, is we're always open to what people are saying, what will make it better.
What if the person who hit you when you were cycling was a snippets user?
Yeah, maybe.
All is forgiven.
If it was a snippet user, I'll be fine. If it was
Give him a
maybe one of the
coupon code.
competitors,
I'll tell you what, you would definitely give them a bundle of joy.
more and more, honestly, I looked at it, but it looks like Imran. But how could maybe he's made this journey to London just to knock me off my bike to go?
Now, Verdi, you mentioned the conditionals. Can you, you or Artif, tell us more about what does that mean, and what, should we get excited about it? And is it something different than, obviously it's something we haven't had before within Code Snippets, but is it something that's really going to push it more?
I think definitely.
You want to take it, Atif, or shall I?
Can just quickly I'll take it. I'm sure you guys can word it much better than me, but just for me as a user, I really longed for this feature, because often there's so many times where you're like, okay, I want this snippet, but I want it to run just on this page or this scenario, or just affect this user group that's coming to the site.
Only during that
Maybe
time.
on that time, exactly. So many, you can think of so many different conditions or things, and or where you want maybe just a specific, maybe a block of HTML, or an alert, a message block, or certain styling to be applied. But yeah, at the moment there is some restrictions, limitations. You can potentially do it. It just may mean a bit of extra work. But the conditionals, it's a breeze. It's so breeze. It'll be so easy to add these conditionals. And what's more is that it will be linked up to the cloud, so that you can start synchronizing, sending conditions to different sites. You can have a condition set up on one site, and it's not like, okay, now I have to set this condition up on every other site, or it's something that can be shared. You could have a quite a complex condition, and it's going to be easy to back up and send to another site, or share, or do whatever you want. So it's really exciting.
Yes, the way we are going to do conditions, or conditionals as we call them, is I think very different than you're used to in themes or other plugins. We won't divulge too much yet.
Yeah.
There's always the risk of people beating you to the punch after they hear your idea. It has happened. But yeah, you'll definitely hear more about that. Definitely hear more about it. I think, well, before the end of the year, even before Black Friday, we hope to have this out. At least that's the aim. It depends on the Atif's typing speed, I suppose. Another interesting thing towards the future is what we're going to do with AI. And of course, at Code Snippets, we want to do we want to do things according to a certain checklist. So we want to save you time. Above all, I don't think there's anything more valuable on the planet than time. You can just buy an extra 100 years. We'd like to help you make money or save money. And lastly, the third checkbox is joy, and joy can be anything like having a good user experience, for instance, so making things easier. In fact, the way you connect to cloud today is, I think, is a very cool, original a way. It actually uses a snippet to do so. But we do realize after testing and especially getting feedback from the community that we might even we will be able to make it even easier, even perfect that user experience. So, with that in mind, when you look at what we want to do with AI, and again, I'm trying not to give away too much, we don't just want you to put in your ChatGPT API key and you'll generate a snippet and you'll save it. That's the very basic thing, right? No, we really want to take it to the next step. In fact, don't enter any key. Maybe not even have an extra subscription like you're having to pay for many of those services. Just have it as a pro user. But in terms of functionality, um, if you have a mistake, why shouldn't the AI tell you? Why shouldn't it even improve your coding skills by giving you a suggestion, tips, or hints, or
I mean,
put a spotlight on what you can improve?
I mean, we,
Why shouldn't it guide
yeah,
you towards getting that specific feature you want to add or function you want to add to your website?
you do, because you do get some verification, don't you? So you do get some feedback, and it's
That's
not
a
not
separate
necessarily
AI.
detailed. Yeah,
Yes. So in a near future, you
yeah.
can use our AI to very targeted create this extra functionality
Wow.
for your
You heard it
website.
here first, everyone. You heard it here
And
first. When humanity suffers, it ain't Skynet. It was
nope, it's
code
code snippets.
snippets. You know, that broken finger on Artif's hand hit the wrong button. Boom. Up went the
The
world.
cool thing in this scenario, I have to finish this one, is one AI creates it, or actually it could even be multiple AIs depending on what prompt you give it. And then there's another separate AI that verifies the work of that previous AI and taps it on the fingers and if it's not all on par, or if there's if the code is too long, or there's a security issue, or whatever,
Mm.
and then the AIs basically have a discussion, work it out, and then you get a good result. Anyway, I'm talking too much about
No,
this
no,
topic.
no, no. I mean, I got a couple of questions just to pop into there, really. So the first one was like, some people get a little bit confused with code snippets in Elementor, and I tend to advise them that even though Elementor has the custom code,
Yes, and
it's
it's
safer
good.
and better to use the code snippets because I would only ever use the custom code feature for styling. And that's about it. I wouldn't start sticking in like
Mm.
PHP, JavaScripts or anything like that into there. And that's where I always feel like if you really want to stay safe, go down the code snippets route. The custom code is there for basic styling. Would you agree with me on that? That's what I tend to tell everyone.
So there are a few things to this. One, Code Snippets allows you to have it completely separate from whatever builder or theme or other plugin you're using. So even if later you completely change your site and you decide to have a different theme, you will never decide to have another builder once you have Elementor, of course, naturally. But um, you will have that indeed in a very safe place with all this added functionality, which brings me to the second one. Custom code in Elementor is super useful for those basic needs. Like you can have a basic form and a very elaborate form with all kinds of extensions and conditionals and hooks into e-commerce platforms and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Um, uh, One provides basic functionality, and if that's enough for you, then only use that. Stick with a custom code in Elementor. If your needs grow beyond that, and you want to have the all these other time and money saving features, then yeah, at least check it out.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I use the Elementor custom code as well, but it's like I always when I see clients are using that to shove code in, and then they go, it's not working. I kind of go, no, you want to be using the snippet side of it. I had another question. It's actually gone out of my mind now.
No, I
But
agree with you because I mean, that's the Elementor custom code. I use it. I do use it as well, but very sparingly, just because if you've got like a quite complex page or layout, you can easily forget where that code is,
exactly.
or yeah, and then trying to find it and then make changes and then hunting that could take so much time. At least it's one place. You've got a code snippet dashboard. You can see all your snippets. It's much easier for your workflow.
Good point.
Yeah. I remember now what the other thing is. So I hope people watching this, and please do smash the like button if you are watching. You have to hit the like button, or otherwise I kick you out. A lot of other solutions out there with code that do similar snippets or similar solutions. There isn't always a face behind the team. You don't often see the developers. You hear about them, but you don't often get voices. And I know this is like probably the first proper time we've got this joint chat going on with Artif and Verdi. And I know we were going to try and get other members of the team on, but time-wise and conflict, we couldn't get them everybody in. But we don't often get that vibe from sometimes plug-in teams and developers. And I really, really passionately feel that by you guys putting yourselves out there, by being really upfront and open, the fact that Verdi, you could have just, been a sleeping investor in the background and not told anyone about this, but you're very open and passionate about it. And I feel like having a face and a voice and a hairstyle, or no hair, or however you want to do it, having all of these things kicking it, all of these things happening, personalities, it humanizes the solution. It almost starts to feel like I love to talk about the Web Squadron
It's
community,
almost
how we're
like
a
we're
family.
humans.
It feels real.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and thank you for saying that. Oh, by the way, Wiki Design asked about the conditionals. I think he just missed it, but yes, they're coming and they're coming soon. But no, very, very good point, Imran, and thank you for making it. And I must say, huge shout out to you. You were a customer before you even knew me, and we've known each other for quite a few years and now. Um, you've been doing shout outs, you've been doing videos, and now we came to the point where we have already actually welcomed you to our team as an investor, even, which is definitely helping us. Well, it gave us a boost. It really helps us getting to certain steps, not just faster, but also better.
I
You bring a lot of knowledge and experience to the table, and I'm very grateful. And I'm just going to keep talking until you really shrink to
no,
a
I
small
I'm gonna
size.
tell it. I'm gonna tell everyone now. I feel like my only major contribution is kind of being the one that kind of went, what do we call the bundles? Because I feel like the team were arguing over what do we call it? What do we call it? I mean, I
What's the
got a
original
message from
name?
Artif going,
What's
well,
that?
here's the options. And I went, just go with bundles of joy.
Original name was Routines.
Oh,
Routines
from
something.
Star
Routines.
Trek. Yes,
Yeah, from Star Trek.
routines.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
but no one liked
wonderful
it.
but confusing.
That was my contribution, everyone. That was it.
Yes,
No, but you
yes.
know what
Well,
you mentioned about community being there, having a face, and I think this is really important, and it really resonated to me as well because, like, believe it, like I said in the beginning, I was a paying customer as well. I had Costinbits Pro, and even I think up until recently, I'm still using my license actually for all the dev work that I'm doing.
I'll get you a free
There's
license. No
no
worries.
perks, no perks.
Consider it a Christmas gift.
But actually, you know what? That really resonated to me, and I found things like the Facebook community just a nice place. If just
Mm.
if you have problems, you want questions, you need help. It's not just like here's a plugin and there's no one else. That's it. It's if you go just search Google for anything else, anything else you need, which can be the case with some of the others. But that's what really resonated to me, and I think it's important.
No, that's really good. I'm going to put a request out to everyone watching, and please do let your friends and family, call your loved ones up as well. It's got to request it. This is something I put out about just over a year ago, and I got a lot of negativity towards it because people didn't understand. They thought I was trying to steal code, and I'm going to put it out there again. If you can experiment and be safe, but you can find nuggets of gold in certain snippets that mean we don't have to keep relying on certain plugins. How many WooCommerce plugins are there out there? But a lot of them are premium, and I'm not knocking WooCommerce, but the cost of some of them is extortionate. So I'm not knocking it. I just went and said the word extortionate, but you get what I mean. But if any of you have the ability to start experimenting and playing, or coders, and you can create amazing snippets to take WordPress and what we do further, stick it on the Code Snippets Cloud. Go and join up, it's free to join up, you can get your account up there, start putting those snippets out there. Let's start sharing and experimenting a bit more, because that is the power. And Verdi has said it many times now. It's like I like my websites to be lean and mean. Okay. I don't like to have extensive plugins on there unless I really desperately need it. But there is stuff I know that we can bang our heads together and put out there that is just gonna take WordPress, it's just gonna expand what we can do with our websites.
Absolutely. I have a very, interesting you mentioned that. Good example of someone whose website I'm helping out just to help them here and there. They were asking me something because they have somebody who's doing the work, and they install this plugin, and I just couldn't believe it's a plugin. It's honestly, it's not even a plugin. It's like the dumbest idea, but it's at the bottom to the website at the bottom, a fixed button, and you click it, and it allows you to make a call. So it's just a button, but it's a plugin, and it has quite a few things in the background. I was like, you really don't
You
need
don't
any of
need
it. You
all
don't need a
that.
plug.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You don't need it. Why are you using it? But people are like, I don't know how to add it. So, and there's a plugin that does it. It's just a couple of clicks to install and activate. And I think that's where a lot of the mindset is maybe still trapped, that, oh, if I need to do something, I can't do it in a snippet. It has to be a plugin. But actually, there's a lot of power that you can do through a plugin.
To be honest, that actually is something that I could share as well to everyone. Is I had a call with someone who wanted a quick one-to-one consultation. They had 34 plugins on their site. It's a very basic WooCommerce website. They were using a premium plugin. I'm not going to name it, but it's a premium plugin that a lot of you use and a lot of you will know, where you sometimes have to add 3 or 4 plugins just to do some basic filtering. And I've basically said, you've already got ACF, just use ACF, and here's 3 snippets for you. Boom, Bob's your uncle or your auntie or your friend. And that was now a total of 6 plugins they could eradicate off their site. And they had more control. I went, you've got Elementor Pro, you've got WooCommerce, you're adding in a premium, which now complicates things a little bit. Just simplify it. And they're now literally like, you know what? You're right. That's what I'm going to go and do now. So that's why, and like Verdi said, there's going to be some people out there that are plugin developers that are going to go, well, I'm not happy about that. Look, when I did the page speed optimization snippets, there's 6 of them. A very well-known optimization plugin that a lot of people use, 3 of their developers sent me, like, they put messages in forums. This is a waste of space. This will not work. Basically,
Wow.
I don't think they were happy that my snippets basically did what you're paying for. And there were people telling me, we were using that plugin. We stopped using it. We stuck your snippets in. That's all we did. And the scores went like that. Why? And I was like, well, because just like what Artif said, the snippet is just the snippet. When you have a plugin, you get what you want and lots of other stuff you did not want. And then that's all loading. There's all this unused JavaScript still happening. So for anyone out there that has been a bit worried about snippets, get a staging site, get a backup, install a snippet, test it out, check it out. Don't be afraid of it, especially if you're not a coder. If you're not a hardcore coder, don't worry. The legwork's been done for you. And like Verdi said, once AI is online with the snippet, it's going to do all of that checking for you.
By the way, about the developers, indeed, single feature developers could be worried about this. A lot of them are free, especially if you are a developer who has a free single feature widget out there. A lot of them don't even want to maintain it. As you can see, quite a few are quite old.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. We will be happy to give you your own space on the cloud where you can still share your vault of
Oh,
functionality.
wow, that's really good.
And this, in fact, has happened. A guy called Alex, who literally wrote the
Oh,
ebook.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
on
E-commerce.
yes, it's so good. He just gave us his 170 high quality WooCommerce plugin replacing snippets to add to our cloud, which is now available for anyone to use. Just
Yeah.
go get it. Um, that's amazing. So if you are a developer like that and you still want your own space and you still want to share that on your website, don't forget we have widgets for Gutenberg, for Elementor. We'll create one for any other builder that you use. Just let us know, where you can even display your snippets easily on your page. If you are one of those developers, please do reach out to us, and we'll be happy to add your content. In fact, you can already start without reaching out to us, but if you are doing that, do reach out to us. We'd love to talk.
Yeah, so like I think we've got about 10 minutes left. So I'm gonna say, if anyone's got any burning questions, throw them in now. Eddie's got one about, do I need to create a new login for Code Snippets Cloud? If you've got an account and you're already using the cloud, it should be the same login. You shouldn't need a different account. And even when you upgrade to Pro, it will be the same username and password. Is that what you meant, Eddie, in terms of, do I need to create a new login? So if you've already got an account, you should be okay.
I think it depends. Eddie, I'm not sure if I'm getting this right, but if you have an account for your WordPress website, that doesn't automatically transfer to your cloud account. So in that case, you would need a separate Code Snippets
That's probably
Cloud
what you
account.
meant.
But
Yeah.
if you already have the Code Snippets Cloud account, then no, you can just connect it. We have a shorter explanation on how to do it. Does that answer your question?
I think that's what Eddie probably meant. And to be honest, Eddie, look, if you're worried about it, just put the word password as password, okay? You'll be fine. No one will guess that. You
Don't do
always get a
that.
prompt, please enter password. It tells you what your password is for you. You'll be sorted. Okay. You'll be fine. Yeah. So if anyone's got any questions, please do throw them in. I mean, I do want to say thanks to Verdi and Artif as well, in his hour of pain. The poor guy. I mean, look at him. He's on a hospital bed right now. He's actually being washed right now. There are people bathing his legs as he's doing this. We just can't see them.
Oh, it's that kind of show, isn't it?
No.
I just want to
No,
say
it is that.
before we leave, I think we still have a little bit of time, but so Code Snippets version 3.5 with all this cloud functionality, this pro version is out now. We launched it a few days ago. We still haven't sent any newsletter or made any publications about it whatsoever, and that's very deliberate. It's called doing it's called being lazy. No, it's called doing a soft launch. It means we like it if this, people start to slowly realize, oh, wait a minute, this is something, and they start testing it, and they might give us some feedback, and we can make more improvements on that. But this Friday, we will start making more noise about the exact features that have been added both on the cloud platform, by the way, as well as the plugin. And then we hope a whole slew of people is going to upgrade and start using it, and get your feedback.
Excellent.
Yeah, actually, I just realized we should have done some special discount thingy for this. Shouldn't have
Well,
we?
I
Maybe we should
think
drop
you should.
something.
I mean, you still could do, or you could save it for Friday. I tell you what.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Tell you what. If you want to get 100% off the price of Pro, enter finger, broken finger, okay, as your coupon code.
don't listen to him. Anyway, let's drop something specifically in the only in the community.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
little
Yeah,
nice, discount or something. And of course, we're going to do something for Black Friday. Who doesn't? It's almost mandatory,
it is.
right?
It is indeed. It is
By the way,
indeed.
are there some more questions for us about cloud functionality or the future of code snippets,
Do you
or
know?
even I would even love to hear things like, actually, I do not have Pro, but if you do this, then I might consider.
There you
Those
go.
are
So go
that's
on.
very interesting for us as well.
I think that's a very interesting request. So look, if anyone does want something, what if you're not going pro? What's holding you back? And I know you're going to say the money, but forget the money aspect. What is it that you would love to see that would convince you? And because I was speaking to Verdi about this about a couple of years ago, and then last year as well, and then just before this chat about how I was shocked that Code Snippets was free compared to some
Mhm.
other solutions. I was like, wow, this is such a problem solver for us. But then when the Pro came out, I know a lot of people were like, well, where are the Pro features? But you have to appreciate that the investment. So when you're paying, you're not just paying for this stuff, it's the investment you brought in to
Yes,
bring people in, into the equation like Artif and others to help just boost it up, make it so much better than what it basically bring it to where it needed to be for now. And knowing about the conditionals, that's going to get people excited once that's out there. But there's any features anyone would love to see in Code Snippets, do either put it here or go to the Code Snippets community on Facebook. Just type in Code Snippets and you'll easily find it. It's free to join and sign up to you. It's another community. Pop your messages in there as well. You know, um, Everyone from the team is there answering. And that's the other thing. There aren't what I call bots, fake answering stuff. There are real people involved in the tool answering those questions. So again, that's what I like about it. There is that proper community spirit.
we are humans. I just realized, to anyone listening right now, and who's on the fence of getting Pro, send an email to team@codesnippets.pro. So that's team@codesnippets.pro, saying this would win me over, and I will send you a very nice discount. This
Oh
is only
wow.
for anyone currently in the chat, of course, who's watching this.
So just repeat
This
that
is
then. So
made up on the spot, by the way. There's zero preparation to
no.
this. This is completely spontaneous.
So go on, say that again. So if they email you or they
Just
contact you.
email, yeah, just email team@codesnippets.pro. Tell me, if you're on the fence of getting Pro, tell me why you're on the fence, and I'll get you a discount code, a very nice one.
Wow. Okay, so you heard it there, everyone. Okay, if you do that, Verdi will increase the price just before he gives out the snippet.
No, no, no. We don't do any tactics. No, 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 no.
All right, I'm gonna say, all right. BH Design, so somewhat has just come on and says, will there ever be a lifetime plan? Now, lifetime plans, there's a pro and a con towards them. So you can be protected forever, but then it does mean that it's only a one load of investment that goes in. And I do feel that plugins that do lifetime deals sometimes, unless all 800,000 buy the plan and then the Lambo is happening, Verdi, the reality is that, it's a short term influx of money like a pump prime, but then the money dries up. And so I'll let you answer it. What's your views on it? Do you think you'll ever will have a life plan?
So when we launched Pro, we actually did have a lifetime plan exactly for the reason that you just told everyone. It's to give you a quick cash injection so you can keep developing and get extra resources. And that initial boost has really, really helped us
Yeah.
grow and do more things. That was absolutely amazing to see. But we had to stop offering that soon after, because it's just not a sustainable business model. If we want to keep growing, if we want to keep adding stuff, we need to money to us. And this is always the story I give when it comes to the Lambo, that one you mentioned earlier. um, Money, at least let me speak for myself, is nothing more than fuel.
Yeah.
I don't care about it in terms of status and flaunting it and, "Ooh, look at me, I can buy new hair now." No, it's just fuel. I have this rocket ship, and I want to take it to all the different kinds of planets, and go on all these adventures and do all these amazing things. Have all these amazing product launches, to stay within the theme. Uh, but in order to move that rocket ship, I need to put in fuel, and money to me is nothing more than just fuel.
Okay.
So if we can't refuel, so if we can't make that payment recurring, if we cannot refuel, then we're going to be stuck on one of those planets, and that's
Uranus.
not going to benefit any users.
Yeah.
Mind you, we do make an exception here and there, but what we usually do, if somebody truly insists on it, we calculate the average amount of years one would stay, and you can pay all of that upfront, and you'll get lifetime. Fine. If that's what you really
There is
want.
another exclusive, another special Verdi Heinz exclusive. Now, while you were talking, there were 4 things that came to mind, so I'm going to reel them off. If you had a rocket ship, don't put Artiv as the pilot, because you know what, it ain't going to end well. Number 2,
A good takeaway.
fuel. Those of you that know, I launched a new Elemental website course. The cost for that are the fuel for me as well, and for what we put together. And I'm upping the way I'm doing the content with a new 4K camera and new editing software. So it's fuel. Please don't anyone think out there that we're kind of going, yay, we're all mega rich. It does not work like that. The amount of time and resources we put in. Number 3, the fuel isn't just for Code Snippets. It is now Artif's rehab, because he's in trouble, so we need to pay for that, okay? And number 4, if you have enjoyed the way we've done all this multi-screen, the way we've kind of pop people on and move things around, this is what we're going to be doing with the Web Squadron live chats going forwards. If you've enjoyed this, and I can have up to 10 people on screen, by the way, at any time, in future, if you want to be part of it, whenever I go live, I'll put a link. If you want to join, make sure you got a camera. If you've got a microphone or a way to speak, that would be great. But feel free to join in. So I hope you've enjoyed this experience. But I want to say a big, big thank you, Artif, Verdi, the whole Code Snippets team, the whole Code Snippets community. It is, when I tell people what plugins you need to have if you're building an Elementor, in fact, it doesn't matter. I'm going to say whether you've got a Bricks website, Gutenberg, even Breakdance, Elementor, whatever, you need to have Code Snippets. All right? It needs to be one of your definite plugins on the system. In fact, before you even install WordPress, somehow get Code Snippets. Somehow, I don't know how that would work, but somehow.
Thanks for the invitation.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Any final words from anyone?
Have a blast.
Yeah, have a blast. I need to take some meds now. Go lie down, take some meds.
All right, I'm going to say bye-bye to everyone. I'm going to say thank you, everyone, for joining in, and stay safe. See you all soon. Bye.
Thank you, Imran.